Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Imagine trying to navigate a world where every day road sign, every able, and every document is written in a code you cannot crack. For a million of struggling readers, this is their daily reality. Today, we are going to explore how we, as educators and specialists, can change this narrative based on the landmark research by Hudson, Lane, and Pullen in 2009. We will discuss effective reading instruction for struggling readers and examine the absolute non-negotiable role that direct and explicit teaching plays in their success. Let's dive in. To begin our journey, we must first define our core tools. Exactly do we mean by explicit teaching? What is explicit teaching? Some believe that reading is a natural process like learning to speak. But the science of reading tells us otherwise. Reading is an accurate skill that must be taught, and for struggling readers, that instruction cannot be left to chance. This is where explicit teaching comes in. It is a systematic method designed to eliminate guesswork and reduce ambiguity for students. It is characterized by three core elements. First is intentional. Every single lesson has a crystal clear measure objective. A second is systematic. Skills are built logically from simple to complex, ensuring students have prerequisite knowledge before moving forward. And third, it is direct. We do not ask students to discover how to read. We explicitly model how to for them. In the short, we make the hidden rules of language completely visible. Now, what are the specific rules of language we must teach? Let's look at the foundational pillars. The 5 pillars of reading. According to the National Reading Panel and supported by Hudson et al., effective reading instruction must address what we call the 5 pillars of reading. These are phonemic awareness, which is auditory foundation, phonics, which maps those sounds to print, fluency, which serves as the bridge, vocabulary, which provides semantic depth, and ultimately comprehension, the final goals. Today we will focus on how direct instruction transforms each of these areas, starting with the earliest auditory skill. Let us look first phonemic awareness. Before a child ever looks at the letters, they must understand that spoken words are made up of individual sound or phoneme. This is phonemic awareness. It is important to remember this is a purely auditory skill. You can do this in the dark. It is about blending sounds together, segmenting words into their individual components, and manipulating those sounds. Why is this critical? Because researchers consistently show that difficult phonemic awareness are the primary roadblock for early struggling readers. If they cannot hear the sound in a word, they will never be able to map letters those sounds successfully. And speaking of mapping letters to sound, that brings us to the next pillar, phonics. Once students can hear the sound, we must teach them the code. This is phonic. For struggling readers in Senegal or wall language approaches simply do not work. They require systemic phonic instruction. This means we explicitly teach them decoding, how to translate letters or grab hemes into sounds or phoneme. We must directly teach grab phoneme. Correspondence struggling readers benefit immensely from synthetic phonics where they learn to blend individual letter sound to form whole word. Our ultimate goal here is to take them for elaborate frustrating decoding to automatic effortless word recognition. Once word recognition becomes automatic, we unlock the next crucial perhaps fluency. If a student has to expend all of their cognitive energy simply trying to decode each individual word, they have no brain power left to actually understand what they are reading. This is why fluency is the vital bridge between word recognition and comprehension. Fluency is not just about reading fast. It consists of three distinct measurable elements. First is accuracy, reading the words correctly. Second is rate, reading at a natural conversational pace. And third, prosody, reading with appropriate expression, phrasing, and intonation. Through explicit modeling and grading oral reading practices, we help struggling readers across this bridge to reach meaning. And vocabulary and knowledge. Even if a student can decode a word fluently, they cannot comprehend the text. They do not know what the word means. Vocabulary is a strict prerequisite for comprehension. When working with struggling readers, we cannot just tell them to look up a word in a dictionary. We must provide explicit vocabulary instruction. This includes providing clear, student-friendly definition, exposing them to the target word in multiple contexts, and actively building semantics network, helping them see how words relate to one another. We must building their vocabulary intentionally, word by word. With vocabulary in place, we are finally ready to address the ultimate destination of reading. Comprehension, the ultimate goals. Comprehension is ultimate goals of all reading instruction. Everything we have discussed so far serves this single purpose, but comprehension does not always happen automatically once decoding is mastered. Many struggling readers need to be taught how to think while they read. We must explicitly scaffold comprehension strategy. Monitoring, teaching students to pause and ask themselves, did that make sense? Questioning, guiding them to actively engaging with the outer intents. These are active mental habits and they must be explicit modeled. So how do we deliver all this instruction in the class? In this area, we use a structured system of scaffolding. To teach these complex skills successfully, effective instruction utilizes structured instructional scaffold, famously known as the gradual release of responsibility model. First, we have modeling or the I do perhaps. The teacher explicitly demonstrates the skill think out loud so students can see cognitive process. Next is guiding practice. The we do perhaps student practice the skill together with the teacher receiving immediate corrective feedback. Finally, we reach independent or the you do perhaps where students apply the skill autonomously. This deliberate pathway ensures that struggling readers are never left to flounder without support. The next is impact of threat on word exposure. Let's look at this chart, which visualizes a devastating reality for a struggling reader. A proficient reader reading at an average rate of 2,000 words per minute will be exposed to approximately 2,000 words in just 10 minutes of independent reading. In stark contrast, a struggling reader reading at 50 words per minute is only exposed to 500 words in that same period. This massive gap leads to what sociologists call the Matthew effect in reading, where the rich get rich and the poor get poorer. Over weeks, months, and years, the proficient reader get millions more practice opportunities, while the struggling readers fall farther and farther behind. This is why we cannot wait. We must intervene with explicit instruction immediately to narrow this gap. Fortunately, we have the power to change trajectory. This bring us to our most powerful conclusion. Decades of research highlighted by Hudson, Lane, and Poland suggest that with high quality, explicit, and early instruction, we can achieve up to 90% reduction in reading difficulty. Things about that number: 90% of reading struggle are preventable or highly manageable. Struggling readers do not lack the capability to read, they lack access to systematic code. By giving them structured, direct, and explicit instruction, we hand them the key to crack that code, master fluency, and achieve full comprehension. Thank for your time. I would now like to open the floor for any question. Thank you so much and highly encourage everyone to look into the full text of Hudson, Lane, and Poland 2019 study for a deeper insight. At this point, I would be delighted to take any question or hear you through on how we can better implement explicit instruction in our today meeting. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.